In the year 48 C, a young girl of 15 steps into the Palatine Palace, her figure draped in white silk, myrtle wreaths adorning her golden locks. The Senate stands in respect, the crowds cheer enthusiastically. Emperor Claudius, now 50, limps slightly on his left side and stumbles over his words, clasps her delicate hand. His legacy is already etched in history. Hers will evolve into something far more notorious. Valeria Messalina. Commit that name to memory. Rome desperately tried to obliterate it. They pinned their hopes on her as a savior. The stains of Caligula's murder still linger in the halls. 4 years of chaos where executions served as spectacle, incest was flaunted as governance, and his reign spiraled so wildly that his own Praetorian guards slit his throat in a passage under the palace itself. Rome craves order, morality, and successors. They present her as their redemption. Over the next decade, she will reshape this palace into a realm that ancient chroniclers describe only with unease. Senators will end up as her captives. Noble daughters will enter her private quarters and emerge altered, hushed, shattered, sworn to secrets they take to their tombs. She will host competitions that would scandalize even seasoned courtesans. She will engineer extortion schemes vast enough to unsettle today's spy networks. She will wed another while still the Empress in full view of witnesses, as if taunting the city to intervene. And when Rome finally acts, her statues will be hauled through the streets and smashed. Her name will be scraped from every monument. Records will be altered to pretend she never lived. Damnatio memoriae, the curse of oblivion. 2 millennia on, you're still tuned in, because what Rome fought hardest to bury is what we keep unearthing. What unfolds when decay isn't just a side effect of authority, but authority incarnate. Let's flash back to 38 AD. The forum buzzes with activity. Vendors tout their silks. Senators debate grain supplies. Kids dart amid the pillars. Rome appears unbreakable, yet the corruption festers beneath. Tiberius had passed 2 years prior, isolated and despised on Capri, consumed by suspicion. Then Caligula arrived, unleashing 4 years of delirium. Public killings for amusement, a horse elevated to the Senate, and nobles compelled to witness him assault their spouses at banquets. On January 24, 41 AD, the Praetorians struck. 29 knife strikes sealed his fate. His wife lay slain nearby, their baby girl's head bashed against stone. Rome sighed in relief, then fretted. Who would follow? They discover him concealed by drapes. Claudius, the stuttering relative, the clan's disgrace with his gait and saliva. At 50, he never sought the throne, never imagined it. The guard declares him emperor regardless, not for his merits, but because he's breathing, and Rome demands a figure in purple to avert collapse. Claudius sees himself as a stopgap. He requires validation swiftly. An heir? Lineage? Evidence the gods still favor the empire. So he weds Valeria Messalina, his third cousin, just 15. Her ancestry links to Aeneas. Her allure inspires endless verses from poets. Fair complexion, sunlit tresses, features sculpted to perfection. She's been molded for this role, schooled in propriety, trained to avert her gaze, whisper demurely, represent the purity anchoring society. On record, she's flawless. The Senate endorses. The masses applaud. The realm regains hope. But one question goes unasked. What occurs when you adorn a teenager as a deity? When you install her in a stronghold where her word unlocks every portal? Where elites kneel? Where her spouse is double her age, gripped by fear of downfall? When you insist her worth lies solely in fertility and innocence, mandating modesty, submission, chastity as a walking emblem of virtue. When you grant boundless dominion to one whose sole directive is restraint, what happens when the divide between her public facade and private yearnings widens into an abyss? Rome is on the verge of learning. If this scene doesn't compel you to linger and explore the clash of authority and taboo cravings, You're overlooking the wisdom our forebears paid dearly for. What follows isn't mere gossip. It's how realms disintegrate from intimate chambers, not war fronts. Before diving deeper, if you're intrigued by archived tales that textbooks ignore, liking and subscribing aids in revealing more such narratives. Now, onward with the tale. The initial 2 years unfold ideally, like a model script. Messalina bears Claudius a daughter, Claudia Octavia, then a boy, Britannicus, honoring his father's triumphs in Britain. The Senate relaxes. Heirs secure the line. She graces official events in modest attire, veil over her head, gaze lowered. Each movement scripted for decency, the epitome of a Roman housewife. Outwardly, she fulfills every expectation. Inwardly, Rome has long split its women into binaries, the matron and the harlot, the revered and the carnal. One dwells in the hearth, nurturing offspring, safeguarding lineage. The other in the brothels, where men discard restraint like old garb. The arrangement persists because worlds don't overlap. Messalina resolves to embody both. The first rumor surfaces around 42 AD. A senator lingers late from Ostia, duties extended. He's in the capital for one evening. On a whim, he heads to the Subura, Rome's notorious pleasure quarter. Alleyways reek of urine and bargain booze. Crowded tenements glow dimly from oil flames. Anonymity swallows you in shadow. He picks a space, tenders payment. A woman arrives, raven wig, eyes rimmed thick with kohl, scents overpowering, myrrh and blooms veiling a lavish undertone. She faces him, eyes lock. He identifies the Empress. No double, no hearsay, her in the flesh. Tacitus recounts it true years after, with his biases, yet drawing from court confidants. It wasn't isolated. Messalina reportedly took the alias Laiska and frequented a brothel managed by a certain Scylla, not for coin or need, but for the rush. Consider the mindset. Unaware patrons unwittingly abetted her. Those in the know? She claimed them. Report the Empress to what authority? She's not merely defying norms. She's exploiting the double standards that forged them. Roman ethics were theater. Officials had paramours. Commanders patronized dens. Wedded men bedded servants. No raised brows. Yet women, particularly nobles, particularly the Empress, were deemed beyond lust. Statues of marble, vessels for progeny, icons. Messalina eyed her confines and slipped away. She'd slip back before daybreak, shed the disguise, cleanse the vulgar aroma, don regal fabrics, join the dawn rite to Vesta, chastity's deity, with the same placid demeanor as the prior eve, as though untouched. Yet the brothel was mere testing ground. The core intrigue brewed within palace walls. Envision the feasts. Rome's upper crust lounges on cushioned divans by low tables. Gilded trays brim with honey-glazed dormice. Wine cascades from ornate goblets. Senators chat idly. Commanders weigh British campaigns. Quintessential Roman refinement, until Messalina signals. Attendants depart. Doors seal. Fresh arrivals. Arena fresh gladiators. Gritty with dust, gore, perspiration. Stage performers. Exotic prisoners. Occasionally, young heirs of elite houses lured under guises of paternal advancement talks. What ensues, sources relay with dread and allure. Compelled spectacles, degrading trials. Senators matched with foes, ordered to amuse her. Esteemed wives, wed and wary, coerced into harlot roles as spouses stare rigidly from afar. Declining invites? A tribune refuses. 3 days on, he drifts in the Tiber. A lord exits prematurely. His holdings vanish by week's close. Word circulates, the Empress brooks no refusal. Then, the famed rivalry. Pliny the Elder notes it, amid natural lore, but it endures. A duel with renowned courtesan Scylla, not for profit, but prestige. Who could endure more lovers in one night? 25 for Messalina, 1 for Scylla, Pliny logs it like an eclipse, detached revulsion laced with meticulous intrigue. Fact, embellish smear, or both? Certainty eludes us, but it persists because it mirrored what Romans couldn't verbalize. A female harnessing erotic sway, not in yielding, but commanding. Rome lacked terms for it, so they mythologized. Myths, however, stem from sparks of reality. Events beheld, unforgettable, despite efforts to suppress. The palace morphs into a stage of dominance, humiliation as tender. Senators dawn in for pleas, midnight out after unspeakable deeds. Noble clans dispatch daughters to her suites, hoping they return unwed. Most do, some don't. Queries cease, as the web is clear. Messalina doesn't just hold power, she amasses it, fragment by fragment, soul by soul, forging a web of entanglement so broad that opposition self-destructs. Participants trap themselves. Observers implicate. Senate sanction? Unneeded. Their disgrace suffices, more enduring than allegiance, which wavers. Shame endures eternally. Meanwhile, Claudius toils, erecting aqueducts, overhauling justice, pushing into Britain. The able ruler all undervalued. Aware, undoubtedly. Whispers abound in Rome. Senators murmur. His aides implore action. But options? She's his heir's mother. Confronting her admits empire-wide humiliation, invites strife, validates detractors claiming he couldn't govern his home. So, like potentates across eras facing harsh realities, he averts eyes, labors more, feigns the blight halts, until 48 AD, 10 years wed. The terminus year, autumn. Claudius at Ostia, managing grain flows. Vital duty, Egypt's wheat sustains the city. Delays spark unrest. He's the steady steward Rome requires. In the capital, Messalina remarries Gaius Silius, consul-elect, a prime senator. Youthful, dashing, driven, Claudius's antithesis. The twist that stuns. No concealment, not a covert liaison, a formal right, witnessed, documented, vowed, while Empress bound. Ancients detail it with stark awe. Tacitus captures the shock, the elite's stunned vigil as she claims a new spouse openly, norms irrelevant. Power grab? Coup bid? Doubting Claudius's resolve? Silius eyeing the crown via union? Or Messalina chasing thrill and defiance alone? Her mind remains veiled. Her deeds endure. And Rome, tainted, entangled, drained, hits its breaking point. Narcissus, Claudius's chief freedman, gets wind first. He hastens to Ostia, finds the emperor auditing ledgers. Imagine imparting, "Your consort wed another?" Convincing amid absurdity? Yet proofs accumulate. Senators affirm. Witnesses emerge under query. The clincher, signed pact, binding, attested, ironclad. Merriment fades. Envision his visage then, the ridiculed sovereign, the faltering intellectual. Survivor via underestimation. Overtly, lawfully betrayed, while safeguarding sustenance. Fury brews not fiery, but icy. Absolute. He marches back with praetorians. They corner her at Lucrine Gardens. Vast estate city fringe, exotic trees empire-sourced, perpetual cascades, site of countless indulgences. With Mother Lepida, who urges flight, resistance, Messalina freezes. Some say she drafted a mercy plea. Others she stood disbelieving the reversal. After a decade twisting Rome, it twists back. Troops arrive. She knows their faces from court. Perhaps summoned some before. Now they're hers to claim. She kneels, implores, barters her young, Octavia and Britannicus, 9 and 7, as pawns. All she offers. Troops unmoved. Duty calls. She grabs a blade, perhaps Lepida's, a guard's. Trembling, she aims at her throat, falters. An unnamed tribune advances, his deed immortalized. He thrusts true. Valeria Messalina Augusta, Rome's empress, perishes at 25, bloodied on turf once her domain over elites. Claudius decrees damnatio memoriae, statues dragged, pulverized, name effaced from stone. Annals revised to negate her. Proclamation. She was never. Yet 2,000 years hence we discuss her. You've seen an empress's downfall, not to arms or pestilence, but unchecked might's fallout. If such sagas underscore why annals endure over erasure, subscribe to Crimson Historians. The bygone refuses interment, it resounds. Rome's forum endures, Colosseum lures throngs. But Palatine's crest, imperial abode, Messalina's seat, now ruins. Visitors tread fractured pillars, faded barriers, photographing Augustus and Nero plaques. Unaware they're amid chambers of her revels. Claudius weds anew soon, niece Agrippina the younger. Shrewder, steadier than Messalina. She'd later dose him poison, throne her son Nero, igniting fresh turmoil. Messalina's offspring met near equal woe. Daughter Octavia wed stepson Nero by force. He executed her at 22 on infidelity charges, her mother's death age. Son Britannicus poisoned at 14, Nero's likely hand to quash throne claims. He keeled at a feast, gone before aid. Senate feigned her non-existence, but guards recalled. Staff recalled clans whose girls vanished into her estate, resurfacing mute. They remembered. What lingers in her chronicle? How much truth? Sources: Tacitus, Suetonius, Juvenal, male, post-mortem scribes, agendas to demonize. Roman smears targeted bold women, sexual excess for Cleopatra, Agrippina, Livia, Messalina, standard script. Innocent? No. Silius union verified, even by sympathizers. Graft tangible. Extortion web real. Opponents perished. Brothel yarns, rivalries, tallies. Truth blurs into spin. Undeniable, a teen betrothed to a 50-something, valued for chastity, childbearing. Empowered sans guidance, purpose beyond airs and facade. Seeking potency via defiance, inverting Rome's lust double deal. The realm that birthed her, unmade her, then branded monster for millennia. Atop Palatine ruins today, sense the aura. Not specters, Rome shuns such, but denser, burden of tales unquellable, names gouged yet persistent. Damnatio's flaw, inefficacy, shatter idols, scar etchings, recast logs, lessons persist. Messalina's erasure aimed for void, immortality followed, not Rome's intent, but truth's tenacity, warped, entombed, resurges. Empires toppled by hordes, disease, ruin. Rome warns of subtler rot, internal. Messalina's arc transcends vice or intrigue, its authority gamified. Disgrace as coin when guardians compromise, decay unchecked. Humiliated senators hushed, blackmail generals compliant. Rebel witnesses complicit, not fealty, but fear. No legions needed to sway men, expose their dreads. We deem ourselves advanced, beyond Roman taint, yet scan empires, regimes, power seats, secrets binding, silence fearing ruin, stability as collusion. Messalina's specter skips Palatine for every hall where might and mortification entwine. A century post her end, Marcus Aurelius pondered Rome's virtue-vice loops. Peer beyond veneer, grasp essence true. He eyed such as her, gleaming shells, festering. Hearts, or us, Rome forged her, wed at 15, armed purposeless, demolished when exposing sham. Name voided, tale abides. 2 millennia later, we probe. What of stewards of virtue turned its saboteurs? You've glimpsed history's shadows, a buried bid, unburied. If these evoke realm fragility, authority's unseen warp, subscribe Crimson Historians, sustain the archive. For forgetting spells, repetition.